Hello and welcome to episode number 94 of the Daily Sales Message, where each and every single day, for at least the last 94 days in a row now, we've provided you with a piece of simple and actionable advice that's designed to help you feel more confident and sell more stuff. And I'm drifting into my game show host voice there, so do bear with me. I get all excited, you see. In this episode of the Daily Sales Message, we're talking about this: explanations are expensive. And this is something that I work on with my clients when we're creating a clear sales message for them. When we're looking at the name of their business, product or service, or how they articulate their business, product or service, if we have to explain something, as far as I'm concerned, it's expensive, it's a problem, it's a barrier. And I know I'm biased, but I'll use the name of my business as an example here. So I trade under clear sales message. 3 simple words, 4 syllables, clear sales message. I'm very confident that you could share the name of my business with somebody that does not know me, and you could say, what do you think this business does? What do you think this guy does? And they would take a guess, and they'd either be absolutely right or at least in the ballpark somewhere. If I was called James Newell Consulting, you don't really know. It could be anything. And that's the difference. If I have to explain to you what something means, then I've lost you. It's expensive. It's a barrier. That doesn't mean we can't use abstract terms and concepts that need explaining. Absolutely. But the pinnacle, the apex, what we're focusing on in everything that we do is to try and articulate things in as few words as possible, because explanations are expensive. And how we do that is we use something which I've mentioned previously in the Daily Sales Message called schemas. So schemas are where we take on a few pieces of information and we connect the dots ourselves in our head and draw a pretty little picture so we understand it. The prime example I always give, and I promise you this isn't some kind of weird magic trick where I know you're thinking of the number 7. This is literally just how your mind works. But if I said to you, if I gave you 3 pieces of information: red, sporty, and fast. Red, sporty, and fast. 3 pieces of information. Now, I didn't say Ferrari, did I? And I didn't say car. But that's probably what you're thinking of. If you're into cars, definitely you're thinking of a Ferrari. If you're not into cars, maybe. But if you're not into cars, you're thinking of a car in particular. But I didn't say that, did I? I said red, sporty, and fast. And what's happening there is your brain is connecting those dots and creating a picture. If I present you with 3 pieces of information that don't go together, and I'm just rapidly looking around my office for examples of things that don't go together. So if I said lamp, coffee, cloud, you cannot connect those dots because there's nothing there. You're like, I don't understand that. And that's where an explanation is required. And that's where explanations are expensive comes from, because if you flinch, if you hesitate, if you don't understand, if there's a barrier there, even though it seems small and, very pernickety, so people read websites and things, people have things explained, can't be that big a deal. I agree with you to a point, but if I'm going against you in business and my business name is easier to understand than yours, my product or service is easy to understand, the benefits, the problems, all the kind of stuff, if I've written it and created it through the mindset of explanations are expensive, I'm going to beat you, sadly. Not sadly for me. So take that on board today. Explanations are expensive. How could you simplify down how you talk about your offering? And you could use things like schemas. It's easy to give the example. It's not as easy to put it into practice, admittedly, but think about that. And clear sales message is a schema. So we're taking the concept of being clear, the concept of sales, and the concept of having a message and putting them together. And people from there say, I don't know, do you help to help people communicate, to sell stuff or whatever? Whatever they say, they're going to be connecting those things, and it works, and it definitely wouldn't work for lamp, cloud, cup of coffee, or whatever that random example was. So how can you simplify your offering? And just keep in mind, explanations are expensive, explanations are a barrier, and if you can avoid them, and if you can be more obvious, for want of a better word, you'll do very well. That's it for this episode, number 94. Had to look there, of the Daily Sales Message. Tomorrow in episode number 95, I'm going to talk about answering a serious question that people get in business, which is, why should we work with you? We're looking at a number of different people, James. Why should we choose you over the competition? For a lot of people, it can really stump them. I'll tell you how to get over that tomorrow in episode number 95. But before then, If we're not already connected on LinkedIn, then please do connect with me, shoot me a DM, say hello, introduce yourself, and let me know what you like about the Daily Sales Message, and if you've used any of the structures and strategies that I've spoken about so far in the first 94 episodes of the podcast. And obviously, if this is the first one you've ever listened to, then please do hop on back, listen to some of the other ones. There's no end of things I can teach you every day as we race towards the milestone that is episode 100. Thanks again for taking the time to listen. I appreciate it. I'll see you tomorrow for another episode of the Daily Sales Message.